San Diego Unified making big changes to how students are graded, what they hope to accomplish with this overhaul. Local child care providers rallying in the South Bay, why they say they need the state to step in to give them a boost during this pandemic, and getting people prepared, what you can do to make sure you are ready if an earthquake hits. ABC 10 News at 11 starts now.
ABC 10 News at 11 starts now.
Well, thousands of child care facilities across the state have already closed, and many more are struggling to make ends meet. Hello there, I'm Virginia Cha. This morning, daycare supporters organized a rally in the South Bay to protest the lack of funding. ABC 10 News reporter Marie Cornell shows us how this is affecting those child care providers and the kids they care for.
Child care providers across the state have had trouble keeping their doors open as the cost to operate continues to rise. Today in Chula Vista, they gathered to send Governor Newsom a message.
Health and safety has been a top priority.
Marian Algori is a child care provider. She spent the last 23 years running her daycare, Little Blossoms Child Care in Chula Vista. Since the pandemic hit, she's had to decrease her staff as the number of kids in her program has dropped. What hasn't dropped is her cost to operate. She now has to spend an additional $1,000 a month to pay for PPE and cleaning supplies to keep up with the health guidelines.
We go through toilet paper, paper towels. We go through Lysol disinfecting wipes like it's water, because we need to keep the children safe and healthy.
Though the state gave an initial stipend to help purchase the first batch of PPE, Algori says that's not enough to keep them afloat for long. And she's not alone. Across the state, more than 5,000 child care providers have had to close their doors. And that's why they gathered in Chula Vista holding a rally, hoping to send a message to Governor Newsom demanding some financial help.
We are here to serve the families. We're here to support, but at the same time, we need to be supported so we can continue to do what we're doing.
Algori says if the state does not come through with funding, she'll have no choice but to cut back on her class size, which is already limited. That also means that there will be some children that don't have anywhere else to go. Reporting from Chula Vista, Marie Cornell, ABC 10 News.
Well, San Diego Unified is making changes to the way they grade students. They say the hope is that it will help address inequities in the classroom and encourage academic growth. So the district says grading will now be focused on how well students know the material rather than completing coursework. Schools will also allow students to turn work in late and have another chance at a test they may have failed. We are digging deeper into these changes, and we'll have more on ABC 10 News this evening. Some new developments in the Supreme Court confirmation process for Judge Amy Coney Barrett. The Senate Judiciary Committee announcing plans this morning to vote on their recommendation a week from today. That news comes after 2 days of questioning in which some of the senators grilled Barrett. Some of the Democratic members of the committee were absent this morning when the chairman, Senator Lindsey Graham, announced plans to move forward with that committee vote regardless of the missing members. Once the Republican-led committee votes and recommends Barrett as expected, it would then head to the Senate floor for a full vote. Meanwhile, on the campaign trail, Senator Kamala Harris putting her campaign on pause after 2 people associated with with the campaign tested positive for the coronavirus. Harris says since learning about this news, she has had 2 negative tests. The positive test coming from a member of her campaign and a crew member on one of her flights. She says neither of them came in close contact with her, but as a precaution, her campaign has canceled events through the weekend and says Harris will instead campaign virtually until Monday. This is happening tonight. Instead of debating, President Trump and former Vice President Joe Biden will hold dueling town halls. Both will take separate questions from voters, with those town halls airing at the same time on different networks. President Trump backed out of the presidential debate that had been scheduled for tonight when the organizers shifted it to a virtual format in response to his COVID-19 diagnosis. Now, after that, Biden was then asked to appear on ABC for a town hall. The president was then asked after that by NBC to do the same thing. Critics say the timing is unfair to voters who want to hear what both candidates have to say. Polls show a dead heat between the two in Iowa, a state the president won by nearly 10 points in 2016. And today, voter enthusiasm is smashing records across the country with early voting underway in nearly every state. Now, you can watch the Biden town hall right here on ABC 10. It'll be moderated by ABC News chief anchor George Stephanopoulos. Coverage starts at 5 p.m., followed by a special edition of ABC 10 News at 7. Drop, cover, and hold on. Millions of people across the state participated in the annual shakeout drill this morning. ABC 10 News reporter Natay Holmes shows us how the county is shaking things up to get San Diegans prepared for an earthquake.
No, this isn't the big one, but it is what it would feel like to be in the middle of an 8.0 magnitude earthquake. County leaders parked the big shaker at Waterfront Park to demonstrate the importance of earthquake preparedness.
Quarter-mile away from where we're standing right now is the Rose Canyon Fault. It runs right through downtown San Diego and is one of our county's biggest hazards and threats.
During an actual quake, you may only have seconds to protect yourself.
Earthquakes are a way of life. And don't be scared. You've got to be prepared. And that's the best way to protect yourself and your family.
At 10:15 this morning, thousands of Californians participated in the annual shakeout. Safety experts say if shaking begins, drop, cover, and hold on.
In an emergency, while we are here to help you, it is important that you have the means and measures to take care of yourself.
Last year, the state rolled out a new system that will give registered users an early warning of an earthquake. Users must download the app called MyShake in order to receive the alerts.
Be prepared for aftershocks. These aftershocks can occur seconds, minutes, hours, and even days after the initial shock.
County leaders say they are working to incorporate MyShake into the county's alert notification system. But in the meantime, local leaders say it is best to create a personal disaster kit and plan with evacuation instructions, emergency contacts, and a meeting place if you and your family members get separated. Natay Holmes, ABC 10 News.
Wow, that is pretty amazing to watch. Megan Perry, you did this early today. You showed us all how it's done because you have the perfect desk for it.
I know. I've got a nice big desk. It's high off the ground. It's sturdy and stable and very easy to get under in case there is an earthquake. So even if you didn't do it at 10:15, it's nice to practice and especially go over with your family. And another thing to go over with your family is always your fire evacuation plan, just in case a fire sparks. And fire danger is definitely elevated this week because of the hot and dry conditions. In fact, looking at the temperatures right now, it is toasty. We are in the 90s in Fallbrook, Escondido, Poway, Kearney Mesa, Ramona, Alpine, and Hamul this morning. And Oceanside, as hot as we were 2 days ago at this time, near 90 degrees. So our coastal areas are quite a bit warmer compared to yesterday, nearly 10 degrees warmer, in fact. That heat advisory continues until 5 p.m. tomorrow. So 2 more days to go on this, or about a day and a half. Temperatures right along the immediate coast in the 80s, but you just go a few miles inland, we're going to be in the 90s and then triple digits for some of the hotter spots. Sure does look pretty out there, but it is going to be a scorcher this afternoon. I will be pinpointing how long this heat is going to last and when things will finally cool off when I come back with your full forecast. Virginia?
Like the sound of that, cooling off. Thank you, Megan. An investigation launched after an officer shot a man while responding to a call about a domestic dispute in Rancho Peñasquitos. It happened last night on Celtic Court. When officers got there, they found a man and a woman on the porch of a home. They say the man had a handgun that he started to draw toward the officers. That's when one of the officers fired a round, hitting the man.
The dispatcher could overhear the reporting party and the male on the radio call. The male, she could hear the male talking about wanting to be shot by the police officers.
Police say the man was alert and talking when he was taken to a hospital. The officer has been placed on administrative leave pending the outcome of the investigation. Overnight, a woman was killed after being hit by a car in San Ysidro. The driver then left the scene. Happened on the North 805 off-ramp on East San Ysidro Boulevard just before 1 this morning. Police said the woman was hit by a gold SUV while she tried to cross that ramp. The driver sped off. When police got there, they gave the woman CPR, but she didn't make it. Anyone with information is asked to call SDPD.